everyone, my name is Jayas and welcome back to my channel. We are doing things a little differently than I normally do. In my last video, I gave you guys different ways to help promote your Webtoon or just kind of general OC content. We went over short form, what I like to call medium form, and long form content. If you don't know what I mean by medium form content, you should definitely go and check out that video after this one, or just, pause and go see it and then come back to this. But after that video, some of you guys asked me if I could do kind of a tutorial sorts of how to go about making a trailer for your Webtoon or OC related content. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to walk you guys through not the brainstorming process, because that was really just like several hours of me just sitting and listening to the song on like repeat and like trying to think up ideas. But we can go over obviously everything else. So definitely sit back, relax, queue up your own stuff for your trailer, and let's get started. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so this part is definitely not sponsored, but I just thought it would be able to help you guys figure out where my thought process was in the beginning of this. So I created a board on Milanote. You can see over here in this little new document thing where I'm waving the arrow, that's actually where I wrote the entire script for like the narration for this trailer. And as you like kind of zoom out, you can see how I was thinking about things. Originally, I was trying to put images in each of the shots, and then I just kind of gave up on that because I realized it was taking way too much time and I needed to get into making the actual trailer. So I did all of this using the free options in CapCut. I am not pro. I do not pay for any of these services. So feel free to follow along. The first thing that I did was mark everywhere that I wanted my text to go on the song. So you see, I actually haven't even uploaded any panels yet because I just had a hard time figuring out what I was going to do for each like beat. And so I figured, let me just go ahead and put the text down, because once I figure out the text and where everything's going and make sure all of that's complete, maybe I'll have a better sense looking at my actual panels in my Webtoon where I want to place each one. This might not be the way that everybody ends up doing it, but I know that this is just what ended up working for me and helped me get through this a little bit faster. Now, I say faster, this did actually end up taking me about 5 hours. I think a little bit less than 5, like 4:48 or something like that, which is why I classified this as long form content, because even though this really kind of boils down to just being under 3 minutes worth of content in its published form, there's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes when it comes to trying to think of what to do for this, trying to make sure everything's in place for it. And then as you can see, all of the very, very tiny edits that I'm trying to do just to make sure everything flows properly and is on the like correct beat. It's a long process. So I definitely think if you can get it out of the way like early on, or just kind of buckle down, it's great to be able to be able to kind of constantly reshare to your stories or anything like that, or just on other platforms as you are going around and putting up and promoting your Webtoon. But that's why I called this long form content, even though it's deceptively short at the end. As we can see, I finally got to a place where I got all of my text down, and what I did, and what's not kind of shown in this like heavily sped up version of my recording, is that I listened to this about 2 or 3 times while scrolling through my Webtoon panels. That way I could just figure out what I wanted to import as an image. I decided against trying to do like individual panels on its own. I just imported the entire page and decided I would use masks or crop ratio type things, and then that way I could get like the individual shots I was actually looking for and be able to use the entire page again and just duplicate it if I wanted to use it again. I felt like that would just save me a lot of time, and it did, because I didn't have to like cut things. I think if you're not trying to make specific elements like move or anything like that, and you're not kind of rigging it a little bit in other programs that you might be using, I think that's definitely the way to go. If you are interested in rigging it, obviously that's going to be a little bit of a longer process. You might actually end up wanting some of the transparent flats and images so that you can use that. But this is the way that I went about it, because I really wasn't trying to put more than a day's worth of effort in it, because I need to get started on some of my other promotion content and also get started on the 2 chapters themselves. This is really just trying to entice people. So that's kind of what I hope everybody is remembering, that, you know, these things are great, but they don't need to be perfect. It's okay. I have very little editing skills. I know this is probably like funny to hear as you're watching an entire video of me editing everything, but you know, it's just, I'm not, you know, like, I'm not an editor. I love watching edits on TikTok and YouTube. I have so much respect for editors, because this is so hard. I don't know how people are so fast with that and with content. Honestly, it is a skill in and of itself. But if you have minimal skills like me, aren't really sure what to do, and not really looking for like learning at this moment because there are other things to do, I think this is totally fine if you just focus on, you know, importing small panels and just making sure they line up. You can do some keyframing, as you can see that I'm doing here, because that I think just kind of added something to it, so it wasn't just everybody sitting on you know, a panel for like even like 3 seconds felt really long, because it's not as tight as I think, again, like a professional would be, or just somebody who does this a lot more frequently than I do. But I was definitely trying to make sure certain beats didn't fall completely flat. Now there were some times, and as you'll see, there are like some blank spaces, because while I wanted there to be images and for there to be some movement going along with this trailer, I also really wanted to make sure it wasn't just overwhelmed with images the entire time. So there was some merit to being able to have like blank spaces, like that moment in the very beginning and in certain spots in the middle, or just kind of leaning into the darkness of it. I forgot to add that the bottom layer is just a random black screen that I found on the internet and just put down at the bottom, just so I could have something consistent and not have something moving around a whole lot, so I could add everything and not have to worry about what their background kind of looked like. I can just, as you can see, put everything together and have it there. But here are some of my favorite shots. It's so funny because it's such a different vibe with this kind of like cutesy music I have going on right now. So definitely encourage you guys to go to the actual trailer at the end of this. I will link that up above. But yeah, so that is the entire trailer. I hope this is helpful to you guys and that you'll check out some of my other content, and I'll see you later. Bye.